After a rocky first few weeks in office, President Trump was given his biggest stage yet to address Congress, the nation and the world on his administration's future ambitions. White House aides had insisted beforehand it would be an optimistic speech. But did it live up to that promise? Our correspondent, Stefan Grobe, saw it all in Washington. So, Stefan, the president spoke about a new era of American greatness. What's your assessment?
This was probably the first presidential speech of Donald Trump, the first speech-like speech that I have ever heard of from Donald Trump. He was very restrained, reading his speech from teleprompters and sticking to the text almost verbatim, sticking also to the Republican playbook and to his own narrative.
I think it's fair to say, up to now, President Trump hasn't really been big on detail and substance. Did he succeed, so to speak, in putting some meat on the bones here?
Well, Paul, you're absolutely right. He's not a policy wonk and he's not interested in details. He's interested in the broader picture. About all the controversial issues like tax reform, only very vague hints. On health care, he said that every American should have access to affordable health care, and that his plan, or the Republican plan, or a mix of that, will enable Americans to purchase health insurance through tax breaks or tax advantage saving accounts. That was about the most prolific detail we have heard. He used immigration as as a means to attack undocumented immigrants and creating the impression that every illegal immigrant in this country is a criminal. He referred to alien immigrants that are criminals several times during his speech. That was a kind of a bizarre obsession that we have heard of from him before, of course. And this was, I think, the only red meat that he was throwing at his core supporters.
He's facing historic lows in the opinion polls. Do you think with this address he might have turned the corner?
Well, that's too early to say at this point, Paul. After all, it was just another day of the Trump administration. Trump says something on Monday and something else on Tuesday and something else on Sunday. During his speech, he again, for example, mentioned the city of Chicago and the high crime rates in Chicago, depicting Chicago and other inner cities in the United States as crime-infested battlegrounds. And he vowed to do everything possible to reduce that violence. Then, yesterday, he signed a bill that would make it easier for mentally ill people to buy guns. So how can you reconcile these two positions here? And there are similar issues where Trump is contradicting himself or the Republican leadership. So it's way too early to see whether we see a new Trump with new policy directions or whether it's just a matter of style, a question of style rather than substance.
Stefan, as always, great to hear from you. Speak soon. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you, Paul.